Do y'all remember the zombie craze from the mid-2000s to the 2010s? Like when The Walking Dead was taking the world by storm, and thus every form of media was injecting zombies straight into the vein of society. I mean, even before that, we had films like Shaun of the Dead and 28 Weeks Later and Zombieland. Video games were also hitting the charts with peak shit like Dead Rising 1 and 2, Left 4 Dead, and Call of Duty Zombies. Even the Walking Dead Telltale game was so fucking good I can't even lie. But even among the flood, one series stood out with not one but two back-to-back trailers that are in the running for some of the best game trailers of all time. Dead Island 1 and 2. And even though the success of Dead Island 1 is the only reason there's a sequel, not including Riptide, fuck you, that game is so dog. We will be talking about Dead Island 2 simply because it's better than the first. So let's dig in. This is Too Long Didn't Play. Okay, so I just want to get this out of the way real quick because it's irrelevant but sort of relevant. When Dead Island 2 was announced, it had a banger trailer, and at the end you hear two voices of two actors that were supposed to be in the game, at least early in development.
Dude, time to split. Freaking awesome! Let's go! Dude, chill. I got this.
Aaron Paul of the Breaking Bad fame, and the one and only fucking Jack Black. Like, what happened, man? Everyone was losing their shit over this, and it never ended up happening. But if you're familiar with the history of this game, then you know that it was in development hell to the point where we just kind of gave up on it coming out. But I was proven wrong because it came out 8 years after the original teaser trailer. Anyways, like the first game, we are immediately thrown into LA, seemingly at the start of the outbreak because there are still evacuations going on. We are then introduced to the 6 Slayers of the game as they are all on their way to an airplane where hopefully they escape the West Coast to safety. But naturally, somebody on board is bitten and turns while the plane is up in the air, thus having the military shoot us down. From this point forward, you are stuck with the Slayer you pick permanently, unless you want to start a new game. So make peace with their personality, because each Slayer has different dialogue that will either make you cringe or make you feel like a stone cold killer. I chose Jacob, who is an aspiring stuntman from London with a slick laid-back personality that I vibed with from the start. The plane crashes with little to no survivors except for you and 3 others, including Hollywood actress Emma John. You stay behind to help some folks, but she leaves you her Bel Air address so y'all can meet up later. Staying behind worked out as good as you thought it would, and lo and behold, you got bit, and through the pain and hazy vision, you stumble your way to Emma John's estate so that maybe she can help you out. You make it, but they would rather kill you than help. Fortunate for you, they're a bunch of pussies, so they just cuff you up. Turns out you're immune because you wake up fit as a fiddle. And you're not the only one, because who shows up but Sam fucking B from the first game? Yeah, the hoodoo ya voodoo bitch, that fucking guy. With the realization that you are immune to the virus, you want to contact the government so that they could use your blood to make a cure. While searching for a way to contact the CDC, various survivors in search of a safe haven pop up in your path, and you do your best to Sherpa them to safety. Finally, you manage to talk to a CDC scientist named Ruben, who needs you to meet with him immediately at a hotel on Ocean Avenue. Making your way by sewer, you run across a group of humans that are also immune, but have special abilities left over from the virus in their body. You notice that your body is starting to change too. They try to kill you, and it brings out the ability to go feral and start ripping zombies apart like paper. They disappear, leaving you with so many questions, but you press on. Finally, you meet with Dr. Ruben and his daughter Tisha. He tells you he needs to synthesize your blood to analyze it for a cure, and while there, you meet one of the superhumans that tried to kill you earlier with Ruben. With piling suspicions, you find out you're not the only immune person to come to Ruben, and it turns out he's been tricking people into getting experimented on for a cure. When confronted, he flees via helicopter with his daughter over to Hollywood Boulevard. You find Ruben in a test chamber slowly succumbing to the virus, and before he fully changes, he reveals that his daughter is the key to the outbreak. Now knowing this, she flees. The game ends with us determined to go after her, not knowing we are being watched the whole time by that group of superhumans. The story continues in the DLC expansions, which I will be playing on stream, so expect an update soon. Alright, so there's a lot to break down, so I'm just going to go through it the best I can. Like stated early, you have to pick a Slayer to play as, and each one comes with their own unique perks and stats. I know it's a lot to read off the bat, but it'll help you understand the archetypes that suit your specific type of play. I played as Jacob, who is basically a damage sponge and thrives with quick successive hits instead of big swings. Having a playstyle as a base is good, but the game really starts to spread its wings with the skill cards that you earn as you level up and progress through the story. Just in his example, my cards are big on quick successive explosive critical hits, maiming zombies for an increase to agility and damage that can stack up to 5 times as long as I keep swinging, whilst also passively getting health back for dodging and critical hits. I may not hit like a truck, but man, once I start swinging, I just can't stop. It's too much fun. And once built up, you can't convince me that the brass knuckles aren't the funnest fucking weapon in the game. There are certain cards that synergize with each other, and when equipped at the same time, level up your autophage tiers. Each tier of autophage will boost damage, health, stamina, and unique skill cooldowns. It's honestly kind of broken, and by the time you unlock it, the game just gets way too easy. Weapon mods are back, and to be honest with you, there are a good handful of mods to mix and match, but where it falls short is that they don't feel as creative visually. Like, oh, I have this bat, let's give it fire damage. It's got some fucking flame doohickey thing. It's cool, I guess, but all the elemental ones are like that. The mods that you put on your weapon that don't change it visually are actually pretty wicked though. There's one that has a chance to cause like an AoE explosion on critical hits, or one that gives buffs for chopping limbs off. There's a lot to try out, and even after finishing the main game, I still haven't found all of them, so I still have some work to do. As you make your way all over LA, you will encounter some unique zombies. There are fat boys who spit at you, there's a screamer, there are some buff boys, it goes on. When facing off with these enemies for the first time, it's actually pretty hard and scary. Each has a little gimmick to weaken them. It sort of feels like a Mega Man boss. It's kind of cool. Like the Muscle Men are so resilient, so it takes some time to finish them, but while fighting, they do a little ground pound that you have to jump over, and if you aren't ready for it, it'll knock you down, resetting all the buffs you have, letting the horde come get you. The biggest problem with all these unique zombies is that they become a non-factor way too early in the game. Once you get your skill cards and weapon mods in order, they all just feel like any other schlub. The difficulty is lost and the boredom starts to creep in. There was a period of time when I thought Dead Island was never gonna come out. It would be stuck in limbo, being handed from studio to studio like a game of hot potato. And when it was finally back, I wasn't fully on board because of how long it took to get here. To be honest, if it wasn't for Epic Games handing it out for free, there's no telling if I would have ever gotten around to playing it. But I'm glad I did. Even though the story isn't a 10 out of 10, it's charming enough to want more. And even though the weapon modding ain't exactly Dead Rising levels of creativity, it still feels good to beat the dog shit out of zombies. This was well worth the time. And if it's still free on Epic, at least add it to your library, because God knows I crave a game to break up the boredom of my usual set of games. I hope this video gives you enough of an itch to hit the streets of LA and start chopping some heads.